Hi, it's Big again. And those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Big, and I live in my 2011 BMW. I wanted to put a second part to the dream I had video and provide a little bit more detail. In the dream, the Barbie dolls were all dressed differently, and the one who had a gown on, the one who was a princess, she had a tiara and she had a dark pink gown, and it had like ruffles and made of this very interesting material. And the little girl and her chaperone looked as though he were of maybe Middle Eastern descent. He did not look like he was like darker complected Middle Eastern. And I forgot what country that is, but he looked like he could be of Middle Eastern descent. Maybe of Afghanistanian descent or something like that. He was fair. He did not look like he was not white, but he looked as though he could be either Middle Eastern descent. I want to say maybe of Spanish descent, but not like a Mexican. He did not look like a Mexican. He was I would say he probably was very much Middle Eastern. He had a beard and a mustache, and he had her on his hip, and this little girl, she was just squirming, having a fit. You know how toddlers are, and her arms were flailing all over the place, and she was screaming bloody murder. And the little girl, she looked like she could be of maybe mixed heritage. She didn't look like a black child, so much so. Like, if she were anything, she probably would be maybe Spanish and something else. And I want to say dark skinned Spanish, but that's so misleading, because what's dark skinned to you may not be dark skinned to me, and what's dark skinned to me may not be dark skinned to you. But more of like an olivey kind of complexion, almost, maybe. Or she could probably be of maybe, I don't know, maybe like mixed, like something and like Turkish and or dark skinned Spanish, but not dark like black people dark, if that makes sense, like of olive complexion. Yeah, she looked very much like she was of mixed heritage, or she looked like she was of a totally different heritage altogether. Not white. She did not look white. And her hair was up. They put it up in like a little ponytail, but it was messy. It was like a messy, not a messy bun, but a messy ponytail. You know how toddlers are, and their hair starts to come out of the bun, and it's not as neat. That's what she looked like. And it was just so odd to me, because I just could not find this goddamn doll. I couldn't find the doll, and I had been standing in the room, and I was organizing these dolls, and it was probably about 15, maybe 20 Barbie dolls, brand new, all in the box. Different Barbies. There was probably 2 of them that were white, and the rest of them looked dark as in black, like dark skin as in the black person. And then there were, out of those that were dark skinned like a black person, there were probably 2 that weren't as dark, but still a black person, obviously. But they were dark skinned, like very dark. You could tell these were black Barbie dolls. Then there were 2 that were not. And I just could not understand why in the hell I could not find this Barbie doll. I had been going through the dolls, and I thought I put it to the side, the one that looked like a princess. I thought I put it to the side, but when the child kept screaming and screaming and screaming, she kind of took my focus off whatever it was I was doing, and I turned and I looked, and that's when I saw her chaperone with her, and he was trying to get a handle on her, and she was squirming and squirming like she was almost trying to get out of his grasp because he had her on his hip. And I went over to him and I said, "Can I help? Can I try?" And I said to her, "I think I have a Barbie doll that you would like." And I took her, and I had her on my hip, and I took her and I put her down, and she had this grimace on her little face. She stopped yelling and squirming, but she had this look on her face like, "Okay, bitch, you better make it good. This better be good." It was almost like a one of those wait and see type of situations. And I kept rummaging through these dolls. And I could not find this doll. But I found another doll that I liked, but she wasn't dressed as a princess. She wasn't dressed plainly, and I've forgotten what she was wearing. But she was wearing a nice little ensemble, but she was not wearing a tiara, and she was not wearing this dark pink ruffly type of dress, intricately designed dress. She was not wearing anything like that, but she was very nicely dressed, and she was a dark skinned Barbie doll. She was another of the black Barbie dolls. That's what she looked like. And so I apologized to the little girl, and I said, "Well, I had a dolly for you, but I can't find her. She was a princess. But how about this? This one is just as pretty." And I handed it to her in the box, and she just looked at it. She still had this grimace on her face, and when she took it and looked at it, I woke up. So that was the dream, and I wanted to provide a little bit more detail about that. But if any of that helps in interpreting my dream, I really would appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Take care.